All right, folks, good morning. Happy Tuesday to you on this incredible RIP program that we have for the next 30 minutes, the Remedial Improvement Performance Plan for all those folks that are wanting to go from where they are now to where they really want to go. So here we go, folks. Today we've got value-based selling and how it can really help you. We've got one of the best that does this in such an incredible way when she's presenting with her seniors. We've got Miss Adrienne Momeyer. Do I have you, Miss Adrienne?
I am here. Can you hear me loud and clear, Ashley?
Yes, ma'am. I got you, young lady. All right. Well, hey, tell us about why value-based selling. Like, why is it so important? I'm going to go ahead and get your PowerPoint up. So just talk to us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way that I see value-based selling is that it's about the worth. It's about the policy's worth. It's not about the cost. It's not about that. So you shouldn't have fear when it comes to providing options and showing what that monthly premium is going to look like, because it's all about, excuse me, it's all about what that policy is worth. But it's not the worth to you. It's what is it worth to your senior? What is it worth to them? And that's what we're going to kind of hone in on here so that you can have some language and sell with enthusiasm, because you know you're providing a product to them that's going to meet their needs and that they're going to be excited about because it's worth it for them. Okay. Jordan says it all the time. When value exceeds price, people are going to buy. So that's what we're going to dive into. Okay. So I want to kind of paint it. All right. I want to kind of paint a picture for you.
I think your dogs are talking to my dogs. I just want to let you know.
So I'm really sorry. I am at my friend's house in Charlotte because I have a shadow right after this, and she has 3 dogs, and I thought it was going to be quiet enough. Sorry about that.
They're talking. That's great. Hey, take it away. Here we go.
Okay, cool. So let me paint this picture for you guys. When you go into a restaurant and your server is just kind of like, mundane. They're kind of going through the motions. They're presenting to you, we have this option. Maybe you have to ask them, what are your specials? What would you recommend? What do you like on the menu best? And they're like, oh, well, we have this, we have that. It's okay. Are you excited to eat there? Are you excited to buy what they're not even selling to you? Or when you go to a Ruth's Chris or you go to a restaurant, doesn't even have to be that, but it's about the person, it's about the server and how they're presenting what's on the menu to you in a way that sounds delicious, right? Like I could sell you this phone, and tell you it's a phone and you can make phone calls and you text your friends, or I can tell you about all the features this phone has and it's got the best camera on it that money can buy, and here's why, and you're going to capture your most precious memories, with your friends and your family. So you get the point there. Who are you going to buy from? Which one are you going to go with? It's going to be the one who almost creates this experience for you, right? You can taste, in this example, you can taste the filet mignon because of how they're describing it, these descriptive words, right? So that's just the first point I want to make, Ashley. If you want to go to the next slide. Okay. So we talk about the 10 steps of the presentation and we break down steps 1 to 3 are the warm up, right? Steps 4 through 8, that's the meat of our presentation, right? And then steps 9 and 10 are the cool down. So here's a little bit of a different breakdown, a different way for you to see it, especially when it pertains to value. Steps 1 through 6, this is really where we're teeing up the sale. We're teeing it up. We're getting ready for the sale, right? How? Because we're winning that client, we're winning that person, that senior over with likability and trust. Okay. You all know about VOLT. VOLT, value, urgency, likability, and trust. Steps 1 through 6, that's what we're doing. We are building likability and trust, especially because we are working on winning that person over. Step 7, this is where we're actually closing the sale. Now I know step 8, we call it show options and close, right? But step 8 really is more like show options and write the app. because step 7 is really where we're closing the sale with value and urgency. It might be the missing link for some of you, because you might be going to step 8 way too prematurely before you've really given step 7 a chance to close the sale for you before you even get to price. Does that make sense? So you're winning the person first. Now you're winning the sale. Then you show options and actually write the app. So that's the step-by-step there through the presentation when it comes to value. So the next slide, Ashley.
And
how do we
back? You remember when Jordan did this, where he said, "Hey, look, sell me this pen," right? Sell me this pen. And what most people would say is, okay, here you go. This pen is, it's $35 and it's a great price. And it's almost like they go more on the price versus what? The value that the pen actually brings you. How am I going to feel when I'm writing with this pen? How many lives am I going to change when I'm writing with this pen, right? Why do I need this pen? Okay. And that's the whole point of building the value that Jordan always talks about. Greg talks about it. And we want you folks to be absolutely unstoppable at step number 7. So keep going, Miss Adrienne.
Yeah, it's about what you can do. Or I'm sorry, what they can do with what you're bringing to them. It's not about just the thing itself. So sometimes I think we might be maybe overly educating them, maybe over talking, and that can read as being a little bit too pushy, versus making them feel it, getting on their level and expressing to them what they can really make this do for their life and their families when they're gone. So how can we build value? So a few different ways I have here. First thing is how you speak, how you're speaking, because you can say all the right words, but you can also sound very, very boring saying it, So how enthusiastic are you? I think we've all probably heard that sales at its most basic form, the most basic definition, is the transfer of enthusiasm. In other words, if you believe enough in what you are bringing to somebody, and first the value of this product, which starts with your confidence about what you're talking about, right? That's how you're going to develop the confidence to speak enthusiastically, because that comes from belief, and it comes from that confidence you have that what you're bringing to them is going to change their life. It's not something that you're bringing to them to just sell them to make $1, but it's something that's going to impact them for years to come and have a generational impact because of their family, right? So how do you say these things? Are you using inflection in your voice, right? Like I am right now. If I just talk like this, guys, and here's the policy, Miss Johnson, and it's really cool, and you're going to get all this wonderful thing, it's just going to be great for your life. No, this is, if you kind of stay steady through the beginning part of the presentation while you're building that likability and trust, like here's where you really want to get engaged. You want to lean in. You might want to raise your voice a little bit, only because you're excited. And when it comes to insurance, a lot of people shut off, right? Because it can be overwhelming to them. It can be very intimidating. Make it fun, make it engaging, make it, I don't want to say entertaining, but give them an experience here, because you're going to stand out among all other insurance agents who've ever come to her door and will come to her door following you, right? You're going to stand out to her. Okay. So be enthusiastic is the first point. Proper timing. Okay. A lot of people are way too quick with showing prices, showing options, and you're skipping the value. You're skipping step 7. So you have to have the right timing here. What is the right timing? It's right after you do the in and out. It's right after step 6. Don't skip it. So we go into a little bit more detail on the next slide here, but the proper timing with value is so vital. If you show them price and then you try to come back to, oh, let me explain, about Mutual of Omaha and why it's such an awesome carrier and why you're going to love them and all of these, features and benefits that you're going to get in these riders. If you do all of that after you show price, she's put up a wall. She's not really hearing and really taking in what you're saying. What you're doing is you're putting together this package and you're putting a bow on it before you tell her how much it costs. Okay. So that's how you look at step 7. And then the next thing is eloquent positioning. Your word choice. We talk a lot about power words, power phrases. Well, there are power phrases and power words that you can use just within this value portion of the presentation. How are you putting this package together? Are you knowledgeable? Are you expressive about what this plan is for her and what it can do? And we'll get into some more power phrases here. The last thing is showing visuals. And I think probably everybody, we're all pretty much trained the same way, the same presentation. You're showing visuals as you're going through the presentation. You have to show the value sheet. You have to show the carrier value sheet. I know that they're not 100% accurate, all of them right now, and that's being worked on. I know that. Do you have to say every single little thing that's on there, especially if it's maybe not quite accurate? No, but, and I can give an example when we get there a little bit later, but you have to show visuals. Don't just make them listen to you talk, but be engaging with them through your iPad and through visuals. Okay.
And also, Adrienne, as far as where to get this stuff from, where to get the resources from, all the carrier value sheets, they're all in the agent dashboard through the website. So once you're on that agent dashboard, you've got all the carrier value sheets right there in the NASB tools. So Adrienne, you're doing a phenomenal job.
Okay. So when do we show value? I've already said it. I'm going to say it again. Before showing options. If you're showing them prices, even if you're doing the most beautiful job and you're writing down 3 options and you're making it all pretty and colorful and everything, but you haven't shown them the carrier value sheet, you haven't talked to them about the different riders, you haven't talked to them about all the different things that are going to come along with this carrier's plan for them, you're probably missing out on a lot of sales. You probably are. Okay. It's too eager. It almost has that commission breath, that Craig talks about when you get into showing prices too soon. So you must, every single time, you have to show the carrier value sheet and give specifics about the plan. And I have on here the hamburger analogy. Okay. So this is just kind of a little metaphor that I came up with that I think will pull this all together for you. So if you think about a hamburger, and I know, we all like different things on our hamburgers, right? But if you think of the buns, the top bun and the bottom bun, that is the carrier, right? Ashley's going to draw a cute little picture of a hamburger on here. I can't wait to see how this turns out. But the top bun and the bottom bun, that's the carrier, right? Now, who eats just the burger buns together? Who does that? Nobody. That's weird, right? So then the meat part of it, that's the death benefit. That's the face amount, right? What's a hamburger without that, right? Okay. So that's the most important ingredient is that meat layer, right? But again, who eats just bun and meat? I mean, maybe Tyler. I don't know. If it were to be anybody. I'm just kidding, Tyler. Just kidding. But who does that, right? Most people like to have some more layers, some more flavor to their hamburger, right? So the toppings are the riders. The toppings are those extra things. Your lettuce is your accidental. Your tomato is your accelerated death benefit. You might have some bacon and avocado, and you might just go crazy, right? The layers of your burger are those extra benefits. That's where your value is. That's where your biggest value is, right there. And guess what? The sauce that you put on there, if you put mayonnaise like I don't know about y'all, but I love mayonnaise on my burger. And Adam thinks it's the weirdest thing in the world. I don't know why, it's delicious. But some people like ketchup, mustard, barbecue sauce, whatever sauce you put on your burger. That, Tony, I see you throwing up at mayo. It's delicious. But your sauce is you. Your sauce is you. And do not forget to tell Miss Johnson when you're talking about value, don't forget to tell her that you're going to be the best insurance agent she could ever have for her entire life. She gets you. She gets you, right? Don't forget that. Don't leave that out. Don't just talk about all about the plan and the everything that's going to come along with the product that you're giving to her, but the sauce is you, right? Don't leave that out. That's huge. That makes all the difference in the world when Miss Johnson knows she can call you on your cell phone 24/7 practically, and you'll be there for her and you'll be there for her family. And when you prove that to her, when she calls you and you answer, or you call her right back, right? I mean, you're selling yourself all over again. Okay. So beautiful burger, Ashley.
I know. I thought that was beautiful for sure. I think Tyler's ready to eat that burger. I love the analogy. Phenomenal job. And you're right. You know, the secret sauce is you, however that means to you. And are you the best version of you in the home with the senior? And some of you might be, oh, well, I had a stomach ache, or oh, I don't feel good, or it's raining outside. Man, you've got to play that role because this value is so important to your seniors. I mean, it is life or death for them. Literally, it really is. Okay. And that's how you got to think about this, is you're literally saving their life. Phenomenal job, Adrienne. Let's keep going.
Okay. So now we're getting into phrasing and positioning. Phrasing and positioning. So these are our word choices. These are our power phrases. When we have power closes, these are the power value statements. Some of these I say, you might have your own that if you really think about it, you can pinpoint those, but these are the ones that I regularly say in presentations when I'm in step 7 and I'm about to show them the carrier value sheet. I'll say something like, oh, you're going to love this. You're going to love these. These are all the bonus features and benefits that are going to come along with your plan. This plan is fully loaded. It's fully loaded. It's comprehensive. It's got it all. Especially if you're looking at replacement, and bettering her situation, and she might just have a death benefit. But you're providing a death benefit and accidental benefit, accelerated riders, which include terminal illness and nursing home, right? And this plan is fully loaded. It's got it all. You couldn't possibly want anything else in a life insurance policy. So included, completely free of charge. When I am looking at Americo Eagle, right? That comes automatically with double accidental, right? So this is included, Miss John. You don't have to pay extra for accidental. They are so awesome. They're going to give it to you for free. And by the way, that's for life. It's not going to fall off when you hit a certain age, which is awesome. This is the plan that's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck, because I know you like a good deal. I like a good deal. That's what I'm all about, right? So this is what's going to get you the most for that monthly premium that you're managing. Biggest bang for your buck. Ashley, I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
I mean, I think, like I said, in step number 7, how do you think your family will feel when all this is taken care of? How much do you think your beneficiary needs to cover your final expenses? How much do you think your beneficiary needs to cover your final expenses? Because again, we're really trying to get to those feelers. How is this person going to feel? And also, do they really need this? How much does your beneficiary need to cover those final expenses when you pass away? And it's funny because a lot of times you might be that person like, well, if you die, and I remember, especially when I was out on the field a lot, it was, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say if you die. Miss Johnson, we all know it's when you die, because we all know that 100% of us are going to pass away. We just don't know when. So how much do you think your beneficiary needs your daughter, Sally? How much do you think Sally needs when it comes to actually taking care of that final expense for you? And how do you think it's going to make her feel that this was actually taken care of? Right? Bam. Keep going, Adrienne. Doing great.
Okay. All right. So the last couple slides that we have are the visuals. Okay. Now, the last thing, we're not going to really show them, but that is your reference, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But this is just the Mutual of Omaha carrier value sheet. When you are introducing at the beginning of your presentation, you're kind of introducing yourself. You're showing your credentials with your state license, and you're talking about why that's important, that, you know, why Ms. Johnson needs to know about that. And you're showing the Better Business Bureau certificate for North American Senior Benefits, and you're explaining why that's important, right? You're showing these credentials up front to introduce yourself and introduce NASB. The same thing is true when it comes to step 7. Before you show options and go to the application, you've got to introduce the carrier to Ms. Johnson with their credentials. That's what the carrier value sheet is, right? So what I literally do, and every single house, and my team can attest to this, every single time I'll pull up the sheet, I'll show them on my iPad, and I'll literally one by one go through it. Now, when it comes to that third bullet point of the billions in assets, I know that there are some discrepancies here and there on these value sheets. Like I said earlier, that's in the works to get updated. I won't say the specific number. I'll just say they have a whole lot of money. And the reason that is important, and that's another thing, is if you're going to say these things, make it in a way that they're going to understand it, that it's going to relate to them. It's the same thing as you telling her to go get her prescriptions. You got to tell her why, right? So anything that we say, we have to back up with, why is this important? Why am I telling you? So that she'll listen to you and she'll keep listening to you. So you tell her, Mutual of Omaha, I know you know who Mutual of Omaha is, Ms. Johnson. They've been around forever. You remember Wild Kingdom, right? Yeah, absolutely. Well, guess what? They have an A+ BBB rating just like us. So they are one of our A+ rated state regulated carriers that we're recommending to anybody just like yourself over the age of 70 who's super duper healthy. They have a ton of money in the bank, Ms. Johnson. And what that means for you is that you're not going to have to worry about Mutual of Omaha going under, going bankrupt. And when it comes to you passing away, your family not getting that death benefit, you're not going to have to worry about that because they have the resources. You're also not going to have to go through any medical exams or blood tests. Nobody comes behind me. Nobody's going to come poking and prodding and collecting samples from you to get this. It's a whole life policy. Therefore, the price can never go up. Like we talked about earlier, the price stays steady for your entire life. And I literally, one by one, I'm going through this, but I'm making it interactive and I'm explaining why each of those things can relate to her and why they're important. Let's see. I mean, all the way down that list, I literally say it all. Now, the last thing here is, now we had a Zoom to go over this. This is on the Dreammakers website. Like Ashley said, all of your resources are there in the agent dashboard. This is under
the policy comparison chart.
Thank you. It's a policy comparison chart. I was trying to remember what tab that's on.
Yep.
Okay.
Underwriting.
Yeah. NASB underwriting, the policy comparison chart. If you should have, honestly, the moment you're in a house, you should have the Dreammakers website pulled up and ready to go. Don't be fumbling through that when you're ready to close a sale. Have it already open and have the policy comparison chart ready to go and to speak to it. You don't have to show her, but this is for you. This is your resource. Jillian, again, shout out to her. She took, so much of her time pouring into this. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. If you guys have not really studied this and what am I trying to say? familiarized yourself with it, take the time to do that, because when you're sitting with Miss Johnson, you have a screenshot right here, a snapshot of all the plans that we work with and all of the differences, and comparing one against another if you're kind of between this and that, but maybe the writers are going to sell it for you because the price is the same. You might want to go with, this one over that one, right? When you're selling on writers, by the way, just kind of a last point here, when you're selling on writers, be specific, because she doesn't know what accelerated death benefit means. She doesn't know what that means. So define it for her. Miss Johnson, this plan is going to come with terminal illness. It's going to come with chronic illness and what that means for you. And you see, as Ashley's kind of going through, there's different percentages for different areas. Do not tell her that she can use 100% of her death benefit to cover all of her expenses if she's terminally ill, because they don't all work that way. Some only go up to 80%, depending on how long you've had the policy. Some go up to 95%. But make sure you are familiar with this, where it is, have it pulled up, have it ready to go, and use it to speak specifically to her when you're going for that application. So Ashley, I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
I just think this team stinking rocks when it comes to renovation, when it comes to resources. All the resources you need, they're in that agent dashboard, or whether they're on the NASBnation.com website, or if they're on the Dreammakers team website. Powerhouse team has a website that links to the agent dashboard. Baeverything you need is at your fingertips. But really, it's the aspect of, are you studying and are you mastering this? Greg Baden put out a goal cast this morning, and it said, to have an exceptional skill set, you have to have the right mindset. So what's your attitude towards understanding these terminal illness writers? And again, maybe we'll have a rip about it. But as far as the value-based selling, Adrienne, you've done a phenomenal job. Anything adding on to it? We've got 2 minutes left.
Sorry about that. I muted myself. The only thing I can say just in closing is take advantage of take advantage of this time. This is where you want to kind of slow down. I know that it's exciting and the adrenaline is pumping because you're about to make a sale, but press pause a little bit when it comes to step 7. Take the time to go through this with her, to explain it to her, and do it excitedly, but with the right intention, not because you're about to make a sale. Yes, obviously on one side, yes, that's great. But how is it going to affect her? How is it going to affect her family? And when you do this and you do it consistently in every home and you do it the right way, I guarantee you your closing ratio is going to go up. And that's what we're all after. That's what it's about.
Absolutely, 100%. And guys, all those value sheets, they're all in the agent dashboard. I'm super duper proud of you, Adrienne. Great job in closing out for the value-based selling. Folks, let's make it a great day. There goes your RIP, remedial improvement performance plan. Let's go. Make it a great day. Appreciate you, Adrienne.